My dog wouldn't stop growling at the woods behind our house. One night, he bolted outside, barking madly, then went silent. I rushed after him and found him staring at a shadowy figure. It had my face. It smiled and whispered, "Your turn now." I live in a small town in Oregon, right on the edge of the forest. My house backs up to a dense stretch of woods that seems to go on forever. It's peaceful most of the time, but lately, something's been off. It started with my dog, Max. He's a German shepherd, loyal and protective. About a week ago, he began growling at the woods every night. At first, I thought it was just deer or maybe a raccoon, but his growls were deep and menacing, like he sensed something threatening. One night, Max was more agitated than usual. He paced by the back door, whining and growling. Suddenly, he bolted outside, barking furiously. I grabbed a flashlight and ran after him, calling his name. I found him at the edge of the woods, standing still, staring into the darkness. He was silent now, his ears perked up, body tense. I shone my flashlight into the trees, and that's when I saw it. A figure stepped out from behind a tree. It was tall and shadowy, but as it came closer, I saw its face. It was my face. It smiled at me, a twisted, unnatural grin, and whispered, "Your turn now." I stood frozen, unable to move or speak. Max growled lowly, then turned and ran back toward the house. I followed, heart pounding. When we got inside, I locked the doors and windows, trying to make sense of what I'd just seen. Since that night, Max refuses to go near the back door. He stays close to me, always watching the woods. I haven't seen the figure again, but I feel its presence, lurking just beyond the trees. I don't know what it wants or why it has my face, but I can't shake the feeling that something is coming. Something I can't stop. After that night, nothing really felt the same. I kept telling myself I imagined it. Maybe it was the stress, too much time alone, working long hours from home. But no matter how many times I tried to reason with myself, I couldn't explain what I saw. That thing had my face. My exact face. And the voice, it wasn't just a whisper. It felt like it went straight into my head. Max wouldn't go near the back door anymore. He used to sleep at the foot of my bed, but now he slept right outside my bedroom door, like he was guarding me. Every night, I heard him pacing the hallway. Once in a while, he let out this low, warning growl that made my stomach tighten. 3 days after the figure appeared, I noticed something weird on my security cameras. I'd set up a couple cameras around the house a year ago after someone tried breaking into my garage. I didn't really check them much unless I got a motion alert. But that morning, my phone showed movement near the tree line. I pulled up the footage. At 2:47 a.m. a shadow appeared near the edge of the woods. It looked like a person at first, but it was too tall. Like, a good foot taller than me, and I'm 6 feet 1 inch. The way it moved wasn't right either, it was stiff, jerky, like it didn't understand how walking worked. But the worst part was the face. Even with the grainy footage, I could see it was me. It walked right up to the edge of my lawn, stopped, and just stood there staring at the house. Then it turned its head, slowly, toward the camera. Like it knew. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in the living room with the lights on and a baseball bat in my lap. Max stayed glued to my side, ears up, eyes locked on the back door like he was waiting for something to break through. The next night, I heard footsteps on the roof. At first, I thought I was dreaming, but Max woke up too. He growled, then let out this sharp, panicked bark. I ran outside and pointed my flashlight at the roof, but there was nothing there. No sounds, no shadows. Just wind and the creaking of old shingles. Then, 2 nights later, someone knocked on my front door. It was around 1:30 a.m. I froze. Nobody ever visits this late. I looked through the peephole. No one. I opened the door slowly, heart pounding. There was a box on the porch. Just a plain, old cardboard box with no label. I brought it inside, against every instinct I had, and opened it carefully. Inside was a Polaroid picture. It was of me, sleeping. In my bed. That same night. I felt the blood drain from my face. The angle of the photo was from inside my room. I ran upstairs, checked every corner, every closet, even the crawlspace. Nothing. All the windows were locked. No sign of a break-in. I even checked the attic, but the dust hadn't been disturbed. That was the moment I realized this wasn't some prank. It wasn't a dream. Something was in the house. And it was watching me. I left the lights on for the next few nights. I barely ate. Barely slept. The image of myself standing in those woods burned into my brain. The smile. The voice. Then, one afternoon, I got a call from the sheriff's department. They'd found a body in the woods behind my house. I swear, my heart stopped. I couldn't speak for a moment. The deputy on the phone said I wasn't a suspect or anything, but they wanted to ask if I'd seen anything unusual recently. I told them no. I don't know why I lied. Maybe I didn't want to sound crazy. Maybe I was afraid they'd think I killed whoever it was. When I finally worked up the nerve to ask who it was, the deputy hesitated. Then he said something that nearly made me drop the phone. "We haven't ID'd him yet, but he looked a lot like you." I hung up. I couldn't think. I couldn't move. All I could do was stare out the back window at the woods and try not to lose my mind. That night, I burned the Polaroid. I thought maybe destroying it would help. That maybe it was a cursed object or some kind of trigger. But later that night, I found another one under my pillow. It was the same angle. Same photo. Just a new copy. Only this time, in the corner of the photo, written in red ink, were the words, "You're next." I haven't told anyone. Who would believe me? Every night, Max and I sit in the living room, staring at the door, waiting. The growling has started again. But now it's not just Max. Sometimes, in the dark, I hear it too. A low, animal-like rumble, coming from the walls. From inside the house. And the woods? They're not just behind the house anymore. Sometimes, when I open a closet or the basement door, I smell pine. I hear the wind moving through leaves. And I swear I hear footsteps on soil. I think the woods are spreading. And whatever came from them, whatever looks like me. It's still waiting. Still watching. Still smiling. Whispering. Your turn now. I didn't leave the house for days. I worked from home, kept the doors locked, and only opened the windows during the day. I started sleeping in the living room with Max. I didn't go upstairs anymore. Not after the second Polaroid. Not after I started hearing footsteps above my head, even though I knew the attic door was sealed. The night it all finally broke open started like the others. Me and Max on the couch. TV on low. Lights on. Bat in hand. Then around 2 a.m., every light in the house went out. It wasn't a flicker or a dim, it was like someone cut the power. All at once. Max jumped up, barking like mad, his eyes locked on the hallway that led to the stairs. Then the hallway light, just that one, flickered on by itself. I could hear something coming down the stairs. Not walking. Crawling. The sound of nails, or claws, scraping wood. A slow, dragging shuffle. I held my breath, flashlight in one hand, bat in the other. Then I saw it. Crawling out of the hallway into the living room. It was me. But not exactly. This thing, its skin was gray, like it hadn't seen sunlight in years. Its eyes were glassy and full black. No whites, no pupils. Its mouth hung open, too wide, with dark teeth, crooked and sharp. It was smiling like a puppet pulled by strings. "Your turn now," it whispered. Max lunged. I didn't even have time to yell. He slammed into the thing, barking wildly, teeth snapping. The thing didn't flinch. It didn't bleed. It just looked at me while Max tore at its arm, and whispered again. "Your turn now." That's when I saw the woods. Not outside. Inside. Behind the thing, in the hallway where my stairs should be, there were trees. Thick pine trees, fog swirling at their feet. Darkness deeper than night. My hallway was gone, replaced with a forest stretching on forever. The creature stood, tall now, towering. It reached a hand toward me, its arm cracking like dry branches. I ran. I didn't think. I grabbed Max, who was still snarling and biting, and bolted through the front door. Outside, the air was freezing. Colder than it should have been. My breath came out in clouds. The sky above my house looked wrong. Like a reflection in broken glass. And the trees, the actual woods behind my house, were closer. Like they'd moved. I got in my truck, still in my pajamas, still barefoot. Max jumped in after me, bleeding slightly from one paw. I slammed the door and turned the key. It didn't start. Again. Again. Nothing. Then I saw it in the rearview mirror. Standing behind my truck. That thing. Me. Smiling. But this time, it had Max's eyes. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just stared. Then I hit the gas, even though the engine wasn't running. I don't know why. I guess I just hoped. The truck started. Not like a normal engine start. It screamed to life. The dashboard blinked. The radio came on, blaring static, and every screen in the truck flashed a single word. Run. I floored it. I didn't stop driving until I hit a gas station 2 towns over. I parked under the bright lights, grabbed Max, and walked inside. The cashier stared at me like I was insane, but I didn't care. I bought a cheap hoodie, some socks, shoes, and asked for the nearest motel. I stayed there for 3 days. Max wouldn't stop growling at the mirror in the room. The TV would turn on by itself, always showing a static image of my backyard. On the 3rd night, I went to the bathroom to brush my teeth and saw something carved into the mirror. Your turn now. I left. I've been driving since. Never staying in one place too long. Never sleeping too deep. I keep the lights on. I keep Max close. Sometimes I still see it. At a gas station. Across the highway. In the reflection of a store window. Always me. Always smiling. It never chases me. It just watches. Waiting. Waiting for me to stop running. Waiting for me to give in. Waiting to trade places. And I think, it's not just about me. Sometimes I see others. On the road. In diners. At rest stops. People who look too tired. Too alert. Like they've seen it too. Like they're running from something that wears their face. If you're reading this, and you hear a whisper at night. If your dog starts growling at the trees. If you see yourself standing in the dark. Don't answer it. Don't follow it. Don't listen when it says, your turn now. I tried hiding in big cities. I thought maybe if I stayed around people, whatever it was would leave me alone. Monsters don't like crowds, right? So I went to Portland first. I got a cheap place, downtown, close to a police station, even. Max and I stayed on the 3rd floor of this rundown motel with flickering lights and paper-thin walls. It worked. For a while. Then one night, the elevator stopped on my floor, door opened, but no one was there. I waited. The hallway stayed quiet. I stepped out with Max, and the lights overhead buzzed, then one of them popped, showering us with tiny sparks. We walked toward the room. Max was on edge. His ears were up, his body low. Then he froze. I followed his stare. Down the hall, by the stairs, stood a figure. Not moving. I knew what it was. I could feel it. It was me. Again. But this time, its body twitched like it was glitching. Like it was fighting to hold its shape. Its smile was wider now, splitting up toward its ears. Its jaw hung open, the skin stretching until I could hear it tearing. No noise came from its mouth. Just that whisper in my head. Your turn now. I slammed the motel door and pushed the dresser against it. I packed everything in 10 minutes. Max barked like he was losing his mind. I didn't even bother checking out, I just ran, again, this time south. California. Vegas. Arizona. I kept moving. But the thing followed. Always a few steps behind. I started seeing it in reflections again, bathroom mirrors, car windows, puddles. It didn't matter where I went. I'd catch it staring. Still smiling. That smile like it knew it was getting closer. Then last week, I made a mistake. I stopped running. I was tired. Max was limping. I found this small desert town in New Mexico, right off the highway. Nobody seemed to care who I was. No one asked questions. It was quiet. Too quiet. The first night there, I slept harder than I had in months. No dreams. No whispers. But when I woke up, something felt off. The sky outside was the wrong color. Like it was bruised. Dark blue, even though the sun was up. Max wasn't at the foot of the bed. I called out for him, heart in my throat. No answer. I ran outside, barefoot, screaming his name. The street was empty. Cars were there, doors open, engines running. But no people. No sound. Just this deep, humming noise. Low and steady. Like the world itself was holding its breath. I turned a corner, and there he was. Max. Lying in the middle of the road. Still. Too still. I ran to him, dropped to my knees. His eyes were open but glassy. Not blinking. Then I saw it. Standing in the middle of the intersection. Me. Only this time, it wasn't smiling. It looked disappointed. Its head tilted, like it was studying me. Like it couldn't understand why I hadn't given up yet. Then it opened its mouth. And Max's voice came out. It's your turn now. I snapped. I screamed. Threw rocks. Cursed. I ran at it, ready to fight, to die, whatever. But the moment I touched it, everything flipped. The world went black. And I woke up, back at my house. The original house. The one in Oregon. The one with the woods. Max was there, sleeping peacefully. The hallway was normal. My bed was warm. Like nothing had ever happened. I thought it was a dream. Until I looked in the mirror. The reflection blinked, before I did. It smiled. Before I did. And whispered. Thanks for the trade. Now I'm stuck here. Inside. Watching myself walk around in my body. With my voice. Petting Max, living my life. But I'm not alone. This place, this mirror world, it's filled with others. People who made the trade. Or had it forced on them. They're all here. trapped. Watching. Waiting. And every night, the wind howls through the trees. The same trees I used to walk past every day. And the shadows whisper in unison, your turn now. If you ever see your face where it doesn't belong, run. Don't talk. Don't follow. Don't answer. Because once you make eye contact, it's already too late.